Okay, let's try this again. So, yesterday, Nintendo announced a Direct. A Direct for March, 1 week before the upcoming Direct for the Switch 2. This is highly irregular. Very unusual. But regardless, as usual, I intend to go over the leaks and rumors and such, speculate on the likelihood of any of it coming to fruition, put out a few other theories as well. Of course, unlike with previous well, I'm just saying, because this was something that didn't happen in February, but is happening now, I do have, well, I do have the usual list of things that might or might not happen, things that, well, I would have had for the for this. So I'll just have that here. For when that's needed. But of course, gonna need something to have in the backdrop. So I now disappear for a moment. Oh, I get something started. Might have to turn that down a little. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Um, First, this part, as usual, is to be edited out for the YouTube version, but okay, so now, um, am I? Hopefully that's back to how it should be. These levels seem to be a little off today. Just a quick. Anyway, as I was saying, so have this list of things I wrote down for the February direct that ultimately didn't get used. So, just a quick once over to oh, that timer I set too short. Uh, on. And that part's not. Actually, I'm just gonna do that. Cut that part out and start again. I'll re-bold these in a moment. So, That's a little better. So, have this, have this, list that I had for the February Direct, but seeing as the February Direct didn't happen, cut, cut, cut. Pressing the wrong key. Okay, so as you can see, I have here this, come on, just have something go right. Pressed on the wrong stage. I keep losing my train of thought. I can't get anything done right in this broadcast. How much time have I wasted? 14 minutes? I haven't gotten anything done. It's gonna start over again. I'll wait for that to go dark. We'll just do that. Okay, now. Okay, so yesterday, Nintendo announced a direct for March, a week before, or the Switch 2 showcase. And as usual, I intend to look over the leaks, rumors, and some other theories. Try to speculate or try to identify what might or might not happen at the direct later today. At this point, or later today. At this point, yeah, too many technical difficulties for this to be done on time. Anyway. Get something loaded up for the background. No, not that one. And okay, so given that as everyone was expecting a direct in February that never happened, I do have this list of that was put together back in February that never got used or refined. So I'll just quickly finish polishing it up. Of course, a couple things I'll make note of. Now, yeah, can't this thing scroll any slower? So of course we have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Well, course, it hadn't come out yet, but when this was written, so I, of course, had it on here, but given that the edit sentence has come out, I'm going to remove it from the list because though there could be something for it, it's extremely unlikely. Because unless there's DLC, they don't usually include things that have already come out in directs. They'll just replace that with something else. Now, yeah. So, probably should have picked a different stage for this, but yeah. So, of course, the rules for these speculation tapes, well, are simple. Or, I mean, among them are a couple simple details. First of all, if it shows up only in a sizzle reel, it still counts. And it doesn't have to be in the American version of Direct in order to count, as the Japanese version of Direct counts as well, as I watch both before making the discussion tape. Given that sometimes there's additional details. Speaking of which, did I So, starting off, I mean, I of course didn't originally have this on in the known section because I assumed that it would instead be be something that would be saved for the Pokemon Presents in late February. Well, I was right about being at the Presents in late February, but everyone was wrong about there being a February Direct first. Said we get a March Direct after. So, therefore, this item now qualifies for the, for any spot in the direct, big or small. Though I'm probably not, so yeah, I'd say there's a good chance of it yeah, I'd say that there's a good, yeah, at least a good, 50% chance of it happening. If nothing else, as part of the sizzle reel. In fact, I'll even go a little higher, 60% and chance of it happening. At least as part of the sizzle reel. Because they don't have to reveal anything, just show 5 seconds of it. So, what about this other item? Champions, which only it just got. Actually, why am I bothering highlighting it? It's not only making it hard to see anyway, so. Champions. That's the wild card item from that's the wild card item he presents. Well, I mean, we didn't see too much of it. So, again, it only has to show up for 5 seconds to count. So, I mean, on one hand, it's something that's likely to happen. On one hand, it's set to happen sooner than Legends, but on the other hand, is there enough to show now? I'll give it a less generous 40% chance of happening. So, yeah. Of course, I'm only giving it a chance like this because this is the known section. As we know, are and that have all that are going to happen eventually because they've already been announced. Although, speaking of which, I think there was something in the rumored section that was going to upgrade to. Yeah, to So, just gonna quickly find a spot to drop that item. Yeah. Anyway. So, next on the list is, well, is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I mean, I'd say that they're, well, again, this is something that was already previously announced, so I don't know. Either way, I mean, I do have I'm just going to put down a, no. No, that's too generous. 60% chance of Metroid Prime Beyond being at the Direct. Most, because, well, it is one of the few first-party things we already know about. In fact, come to think of it, yeah, it's one of only 3. Therefore, there is a high probability of it actually happening. Plus, it's there's a good chance that, well, that it will after it is shown, we might see yeah, I really need a keyboard that has the keys I'm going to, I mean, actually, no. There. Honestly, I need the percent key to be its own thing, right next to the numbers. Yeah, I mean, so, yeah. I mean, there have been rumors of remasters of Metroid Prime 2 and 3 as well, so that's the main reason for suspecting it to be the case. Although actually I'll raise the chances. I mean, I'll get. I mean, I should probably. I'm going a little out of order with this, but the likelihood of both of these is hard to say. So therefore, one has to get a lower chance than the other. I don't know. So yeah, I say that there is a significant chance of Metroid Prime 4 being there, and along with it the other, or 3 on the same day. So, anyway, just gonna try to knock these next few out a little faster. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, again, hard to say how far along that's come, but you think that would be soon, so anybody be sooner or later, so I'll just say 40% chance. Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. I mean, it's been in the works for a while, so I'll just say that there's a, I don't know, maybe a 30% chance? Yeah, I can always change these numbers later. 100-line Last Defense Academy, I mean, I did see an article about that recently, so I think it might be getting close to being ready. So, like, I'll give this a 40% chance. Fantasy Life-Fi, The Girl Who Steals Time. Of course, it is worth noting that I didn't exactly take the time to confirm that all of these are actually, well, unreleased. So I might be giving a percentage for something that is absolutely not going to happen because it's already here, in which case it's therefore disqualified from the list, but isn't a point against. Well, I won't count it as a point. Again, I won't consider it as much a point against my calculations on account of. But then again, I should have be doing more research into this matter. So either way, Fantasy Life-Fi, The Girl Who Steals Time, it could easily show up in a sizzle reel. So I'll give it a generous 30%. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma. Honestly, I'm not sure. Did that one already release? Might have. Yeah. Either way, if it hasn't already released, I'll give it a 25% chance. No. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I mean, there's no reason why that one shouldn't be ready. For showcase, so yeah, I'll give that one a good 40% chance of being there. Though I'm not sure how. Though admittedly, Sega hasn't been as reliable for appearances as of late. And Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I'll give that a no. So, Ninja Gaiden Rage Bound. Hard to say. But I think I'll lower the chance of Sonic racing across worlds. Yeah. Give that a 30%. Honestly, I'll just give pretty much most of these a 30% across the board. Pac-Man Shadow Labyrinth. 25%, actually. And honestly, that might be a little bit of a ways out. It might be too soon to showcase. Hence the 25%. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, an item which almost didn't make the which almost didn't make the known list on account of it being only a rumor back when I wrote this. 30% chance, perhaps. Sigma are. If I'm that's the Game Boy Advance title for by Way Forward that's being upgraded. Well, I mean, Way Forward tends to be a fairly consistent. Lunar Remastered Collection. That one comes out very soon, so honestly not sure what the chances are. So, let's see. I'll just give it a 20% because I've been giving too many 30%. And it means memories of or whatever. And likewise, Bubble Ghost Remake. I think both of these have already released. So I'll just give them 5% chance. Is because I'm pretty sure they already released and they're therefore disqualified. They're just not gonna check this time. And this one, hard to say. Hunter x Hunter N-MCMXCIX Impact. I don't know. I'll just give that a 10%. Likewise for this Mobile Suit Gundam tile. No, I'll give it a higher chance. 15. System Shock 2, 25th Anniversary Edition. I'll give a Wait, have I had this set to... Hmm. Has that been the case these past few recordings? Or... Anyway, with System Shock Unk 2 25th Anniversary Remaster. Honestly, I'm not gonna give that very high a percentage because I don't think Night Dive games typically have that high I don't think they typically show up all that often at Direct, so I'll give it only 7% chance. Might happen, but probably not. Also, the 2 remake, I could see that maybe happening. But again, Sega has been a bit hit or miss, so I don't know. I'll give it, I don't know, an 11% chance. The Wednesday, I think that, and I don't remember, I think I just threw that in there just to pad out the list. But I could see that maybe showing up in a sizzle reel, but all the same, doubtful. It'd be more likely to show up, and I don't think so. Darwin's Paradox. That depends on if Konami wants to push it or not. So, I don't know. Well, it is just the sort of thing that would show up at a Direct, wouldn't it? And I'll give it a 20%. And likewise, so I'll give a 20% for... No, I need to give a higher chance for Shinobi Art of Vengeance. In pre-orders will be happening soon on limited run for that. And the rest are things at either. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Suikoden has indeed already released. And I don't remember what Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny was, so... I can't really judge that. So... I'll give Suikoden a 1% chance because it's probably not going to happen at all. Because I'm pretty sure it already released. And then just a few items. Sea of Stars DLC. I'll give a nice 35%. Harvest Moon. I'll give a 25%. Deltarune, I'll give a 17%. And Silk Song, it has been defaulting to a player character. This one seems fitting. So, with Silk Song, here's the thing. Kind of a running gag, it's not showing up. So therefore, on that note, well, on that note, I can't really say if it's going to happen at all. So, there have been a few hints that something might happen, but honestly, we've had so many false alarms, I just can't say. It's a complete flip of the coin. But I don't know. I mean, this whole last minute direct thing, this whole last minute direct nonsense could be just for it. But I'm not one to get my hopes up, so I honestly don't know. negative 50%. I'll give it. Whatever that means. Okay, so with that nonsense out of the way, we get into the rumored section. Now, Kirby Plant Robot is rumored to be getting a deluxe edition, or a remaster, or an HD remaster, or I should say. I mean, there's been so between all the rumors and the fact that okay, so here's the thing. I mean, there's a good 60% of there being something for Kirby, but whether or not, but it actually being Planet Robobot, I don't know. I'll give it it's only the chance is only half that high of it being actually that. So I'll give it that percentage. So I'll just set it up like that. So, yeah. And of course, I've already spoken on Metroid Prime 2 and 3. I figured if we get into I'm just saying, there is a chance that we could finally see another glimpse of Metroid Prime 4. And if we do see that, then I'm just saying, if we get Metroid Prime 4, we'll probably get it's at least 2 and possibly 3 on on the same day. Now, put that away. So, Kirby, I can see happening. Metroid, I can see happening. But The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. Why do I even consider this for this list? I mean, come on. The only leg it really has to stand on is the name being translated into a new language on the website. I mean, honestly, I'm tired of people all constantly bring up the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD. honestly, I just don't think it's going. Honestly, if not, in most cases, I would say no. But I guess it could. But if it is to happen, I'd say would probably be the time if it is a port of the Wind Waker HD from Wii U. So honestly, I'd say that it'd probably be better off being something for the Switch 2 and having a port of having well, not, having a remaster of Phantom Hourglass built in, given that Phantom Hourglass could probably benefit from the mouse functionality. Yeah, but on the other hand, the mouse functionality isn't necessarily needed to bring back Phantom Hourglass. Yeah, what am I saying? Phantom Hourglass is not rumored, so... actually, I should probably have... Yeah. I'll get to that. So, anyway. I'd say, though I still question it, I can't deny that there's probably at least I don't know, maybe a 27% chance of it happening this time. But I doubt it. And even if it does happen, it's going to be a $60 standalone. Is it going to be a $60 release and not have Twilight Princess included? It just doesn't make sense for the two to be in together. Yeah. So, So, what about Twilight Princess HD? I still say, and here's the thing, I still say that we're more likely to see these bows of the Legend of Zelda GameCube titles that we've gotten on the Wii U, more likely on GameCube Online next year. But if we are to have Twilight Princess actually get ported to Switch, be a native release, I still say there's only I still say it's not going to happen this year. 1% chance of it being at the Direct. If we get Twilight Princess HD, they're saving it for next year because that's its anniversary. Sure, it doesn't really matter for Wind Waker because it's all come and gone. And they might as well release it halfway between this makes more sense for them to release Wind Waker HD halfway between its anniversaries than to release Twilight Princess a year early. Either way, no double pack, that's for sure. Well, sort of. I should clarify. Again, we are not getting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess as a single $60 cartridge. That's not going to happen. No way, no how. We could see, but we could see Twilight Princess come with Link's crossbow training, as that's easy enough to remaster. I mean, just simply take all, you could probably, because 90% of all the assets needed are already remastered. But again, Twilight Princess is next year, not this year. I'm sure of it. Wind Waker, I think that might have a small chance of happening this year. Though I still doubt it. I mean, it just doesn't make the most sense to happen. People just keep on railing on that. Again, it just doesn't make sense to happen as much as people say. Also, Also, 0% chance of this Ocarina of Time remake happening this year. If it does happen, it'll be an anniversary release in a different year. Maybe in either 2026 or 2028. And because of that, I have to raise the chances of Twilight Princess to 3%. it's gotta be around here somewhere. So, The Sims 1 and 2 is the next item on the list. Sadly, I'm pretty sure that's been deconfirmed. So, only a 1% chance of that happening, sadly. But EA could have been lying. Nah, better keep it at 1%. Of course, next in line are a couple of my Sims bundles that were sort of leaked rather than rumored. So, assuming the intel is true, I'll give both of these a generous 30% chance each. So yeah, the My Sims action bundle and Beacon, as well as Beacon Bay, a good 30% chance. Okay, I'm going to go back and quickly add in something. Not sure how spell that, but the new Katamari title that seems to have been found on a that seems to have been trademarked recently. I'll give that a 35. No, I'll give that a good 40% chance because Namco tends to be a bit consistent with that. Hawks Pro Skater 3 and 4. That's something that's been. Wait, why is it still in the rumored section? Didn't I put it in the yeah. So that doesn't need to be there at all. So that just leaves 3 items. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist, I'll give a 25% chance. Rayman 3, I'll also give a 25% of that chance of that one being true. And Mass Effect, I'll sadly only give a 5% chance because that one's been a no-show so many times. But these two Ubisoft titles here, there was a rumor that Nintendo asked Ubisoft to bring back asked Ubisoft and EA to bring back some old titles, of course, as a last hurrah Switch. So, assuming the rumor is true, I figured these are probably happening. So, as for suspicions, there's only a few left. I mean, Yoshi's Woolly World, that is something that's, well, I mean, this year is the 25th. It's not. It's the 10th anniversary of it. So therefore, yeah, it's the 35th anniversary of Yoshi and the 10th anniversary of the game. So assuming either Goodfeel was able to get it done alongside Princess Peach Showtime, or they were able to find a studio to outsource it to, I'd say a good 30. No, yeah, a good 37%. Now, next, Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. I mean, besides Mega Man Legends, Star Force is probably the last major batch of Mega Man games to require a port. And given that Legends would be more work, / has some licensing issues surrounding it, I'd say Star Force Legacy Collection is probably what's next in line, and therefore, I'm going to say that there's a 40% chance of it happening. Or at least something from Mega Man. But 40% chance of this Star Force Legacy Collection specifically happening. Next would be the Pac-Man World Repack. I mean, I put this here because it is the 45th anniversary of Pac-Man. But on the other hand, Shadow Labyrinth is on its way, so honestly not sure. So on that note, I'll give it a 21% chance. Then, of course, Shadowgate 2. This one was recently announced, but not necessarily for Switch. 15%, I guess? Yeah. So, yeah. Only a... Yeah, so... I'm just not sure. I mean, this one could happen. It could not. Just one of those things where... Yeah. I mean, just probably one of those things where if it does happen, it'll happen later. So that leaves only a few left for the suspicion section. Silent Hill Master Collection, I've said multiple times, is something that could well, could not again. Could easily be done using the same engine as, I mean, the same engine and same emulators as the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. And use the same PlayStation 1 emulator for Silent Hill 1 and the same porting process to bring the HD collection versions of 2 and 3 over. but would they do it at this point? Hard to say. Just don't know if Silent Hill is a high enough priority for Konami to bring over. Yeah. So, I guess... yeah. So I guess maybe a 15% chance at the most. No, I'll give it a 13%. Next in line, Dragon Quest 4 through 7 HD 2D remakes. Oh, sure, on one hand, I mean, we are, and I'm just saying, on one hand, these do have an all except 5 have an anniversary this year. But on the other hand, Square Enix probably has their hands full with one or two. So we might get the announcement that's coming at least, but otherwise it's doubtful. So only, I don't know, only a 15% chance of it happening at the most. Now, Chrono Trigger might be wishful thinking, but there have been people saying, but honestly, there have been people saying that, I'm just saying, Square Enix has acknowledged it recently, so I suppose it could happen, so I'll give it a, I mean, so I suppose it could happen, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. So I'll give it a 20% chance. Cards of Coin. This was something that was recent. There's a mobile. I think there's a mobile title that was recently brought back. I don't know. 20%. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just not. I don't know if there's enough demand for it to happen. Again, don't know if it's all that well known. And of course, the last one I have on the list is, well, Tekken. Which, honestly, I've pretty much given up on Tekken happening on the original Nintendo Switch anytime soon. Short of Tekken Advance on Game Boy on short of Tekken Advance on GBA Online, it seems very unlikely it's going to happen. Instead, we're just going to get the newer Tekken games on the Switch 2 at this point, probably. So, let's see. How about a 10% chance of Tekken happening? Sorry, but just as much as I want it to happen, it just doesn't seem very likely at this point. That's the thing with a lot of, and of course that's another thing to factor in. What gets saved for the Switch 2, and what happens now? Because there are quite a few things that could easily work on the Switch 1, and there are also quite a few things that would not work and would need a little, and would need either, it would probably need I'm just saying, it might be considered more worthwhile to play on the Switch 2 for any of these things. But on the other hand, I don't know, I mean, Namco could throw users of the Switch 1 a bone and offer the older Tekken titles. Who's to say? Otherwise, yeah, I think otherwise this has gone on way too long, and will be, well, let's just say there's no way I'm going to have this edited in time for it being ready before the broadcast begins. I'll have to hurry just to get the VOD up. So, yeah. Of course, there is one other thing on the list. No GameCube Online. The newest leg that GameCube Online has to stand on for happening this year is a patent that people think might be the GameCube controller. However, the patent clearly showed it to have a model number, or so I'm told, that is more reminiscent of the Switch 2 than the Switch 1, in which case it would make any sense for GameCube to be Online to be announced today. Let's see, what's the model number for this thing again? I mean, the header, that is. Yeah. HAC. So yeah, this is an HAC controller, but the so-called GameCube Online controller is a BEE controller. Or so I'm told. Therefore, the chances of GameCube Online what was the... So, anyway. Yeah, no GameCube Online. This. Yeah, no way that GameCube Online is happening at this week. Could happen next week, but not this week. However, that doesn't rule out the chances of something for Nintendo Switch Online, though admittedly it's much slimmer at this point. I mean, much slimmer given that we have a set of 4 SNES games announced that haven't, and that will announced to be showing up, I think, tonight. So, therefore, normally I would say a Nintendo Switch Online announcement could happen, but I'm not so sure today. Yeah. In conclusion, though, I mean, this is indeed likely to be the last update for the Nintendo Switch 1 itself. But it's not the last we'll be seeing of software for the original Nintendo Switch in future directs. Of course, admittedly, it's hard to say how much will be at this direct, given that well, yeah. I mean, what? Yeah, I'm losing my train of thought. I mean, just trying to finish this up. Yeah. I'm just saying, hard to say. I mean, at this point, what items that are rumored to be happening will happen this at this direct, and what will be saved for the Switch 2. I mean, there are rumors of a Fire Emblem remake, but I omitted that because I don't because at this point it might make more sense to save that for the Switch 2 on account of the mouse. Yeah. Just one of those things. I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, best not to expect too much, but on the other hand, there are probably a decent amount of projects that were only recently finished enough to announce. So, honestly, hard to say. And of course, and of course, the yeah, yeah, and of course, all four of the characters that I have fighting on screen at the moment, they all have anniversaries their games all have anniversaries this year. Does that mean we're actually going to get something? Hard to say. Although I guess there is one thing I could add to the list, actually. Yeah. I mean, I suppose that there is a 25% chance that they could reissue Super Mario 3D All-Stars. But would it be at the Direct, or be something that they announce later? And also, I mean, so, and I mean, though I'm not expecting too many new items for the Nintendo Switch at this time. I mean, expecting mostly ports. I don't see any reason why we couldn't potentially see a Game & Watch gallery added. Either something new in high definition for the first time, or a mere addition to Nintendo Switch Online, which admittedly, if it's Nintendo Switch Online, probably not today. But who's to say? And of course, if we're talking, well, and also, where should I say? And also another thing I should say: who says that non-gamer announcements can't happen? How do we know that there isn't a? I mean, I'm just saying we can't necessarily expect Splatoon 4 or much in the way of updates for Splatoon 3, but if they've got a Splatoon anime in the works, this today would be the time to announce it. If they've got anything to show for the second Super Mario Bros. Movie, now could be the time to show it, though might be better to save for later in the year. Oh, and likewise for that Legend of Zelda movie that's said to be in the works. So, again, who's to say? But either way, I've been doing this for far too long at this point, so probably best to so probably best to wrap this up now. About a half hour till the direct actually happens. And I could record a reaction, but I just don't know if my computer can handle it. Also, if anyone's watching this, I have a question. What are the thoughts on my any thoughts on my attempt at putting an Inkling on the roster? I mean, I'm just saying. I know it's not the most accurate attempt at at getting the face right. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, I didn't bother with anything around the eyes because it's not possible to get it right. Though there are official approximations. Is the nose too low? Is the nose a good size or position? Because I was going for more of a cosplayer look than an actual and the actual thing. Though I guess a little bit of baseball paint around the eyes wouldn't. It wouldn't. I'm just saying a little bit of baseball paint around the eyes would probably be something that's even a low level, or should I say, even a beginner would probably think of. But who's to say? Anyway, this broadcast has gone on for long enough, so Therefore, that's enough. Cut.